Well, welcome to the realm of Millenia. Be man, woman, a child, a spirit, a creature, or a demon. Be ye a native migrator, or maybe even an invader into the realm. Welcome, for I am your host, the Millennium Mailman, here today, bringing you guys and gals a Tourism Tuesday. The day I have decided to designate to expounding and world building and lore building for you each and every time. Alright? So, essentially, every Tuesday I'm going to be talking about some aspect of the Realm of Millenia. I have looked back and I have noticed that so far I've pretty much only talked about, outside of identifying the difference between the words like abilities, skills, powers, and innate talents and stuff. I haven't really talked about anything outside of space and time, but I implore you, space and time is super important as far as the setting of the Realm of Millenia, because the Realm of Millenia is the center of the universe for all intents and purposes, right? The center of the universe as a whole is the Realm of Millenia. That is where the Realm of Millenia takes place, the center of the universe. And everything expands outward from that. Right? And when we talk about space, excuse you. When we're talking about space and space-time, everything, the time is always directly associated, right? So I cannot articulate it any more stressed than I already do about how important it is to try and, at least in the videos, these lore, where I try to explain the non-spoilers, I can already envision it from the way I'm writing the novel to be a bit of a harder concept to understand the space and time aspects, because I write it down like a layman, and despite having a very bigger brain, no bigger brain words and all that other goodness, I want it to be extremely realistic, because the way I write the characters, it's written in a more first person perspective from character to character, right? So when I go about describing it, there are complex ways from character to character that they describe how they are the center of the universe, the center of everything, in a narcissistic or not so narcissistic manner, or how they would describe the flow of time. And I recognize that it seems very, 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 very inconsistent, but I promise you that is probably the most consistent thing that is in the book, right? The time and the time dilations and the stack, it is so extremely recognized that it is very important to me, the author, as I write through it, to make sure that I'm not contradicting myself or contradicting the chronological order of things whilst I move through the chapters and move through the characters and the overarching plot and the subplots, that the space that the series of events is happening in, and the time in which things are occurring and happening, it is so extreme. It is so extremely important that the time related things and the space related things are very distinctive. Now, I remember making a video on the difference between dimensions and realms. I'm not sure if I actually posted that or if I deleted that before posting it, but I'm going to talk in this video as if I did and double check back later on where that video's at. But right, in lieu of like the difference between dimensions and realms, there's also the conversation or two to be had about time loops, because that is going to be a reoccurring thing. Some more lower scale than others, but time and time again, right? There is a time looping aspect throughout various characters or various scenarios, and one of the more subtle acts of time looping I do is like personal time loop, where people are so close-minded and trapped in their thinking they cannot get themselves out of a situation that is perpetually occurring, right? They'll do this thing, great, start, finish, tomorrow do the same thing, it starts all over, finishes it again, just for them to turn around, do the thing, start, finish. So it's like no matter what they do, they eventually end up doing the same thing. And you know what? I can't trust you anymore, so I'm going to trust this guy. That is the exact same. They might not be the same person literally, they might not be the same person physically, but overall you're still, it's like you have 5 choices here. You got very bad, you got bad, you got neutral, you got good, and you got the greatest, right? You're going through these 5 and it's like, okay, I chose this one, I chose that. The last time I chose bad. It's not very bad, but I chose bad. And they say this is good and that is very good, but I gotta stick with the same old evils. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't, right? So, eeny, meeny, miny. I chose the bad decision again. Oh, I get a second shot? Okay. Flip a coin. Oh, shoot, I chose bad. I chose wrong. Right? No matter what you do, right? No matter what you do. It's one of my favorite things to do the both subtle and entirely in your face overt use of the space and the time aspects, because that is those 2 things, the references to space and time, are what I honestly want to say is like one of the like biggest aspects to what can be seen as something that sets my story apart from many others, right? Where Dragon Ball, I would say like space and time are subplots to it, and more so just subplots because of necessity in order to further certain aspects and understandings between the series. Or what's one with time? I don't know the name of it right now, but I know JoJo has some like time powers and stuff, so I'll just say JoJo as a time reference, where Dio Brando, I believe the JoJo character name is, the vampire JoJo. I recognize that to be like kind of, it was either like a major plot point that the JoJo and the Dio characters both can like manipulate time, and it's a running thing, but point still like effectively stands, where those are like subplot and like coincidental aspects of space and time eventually being put mainstream into the novel. I both do even more subtle integrations of space and time, as well as more in your face space and time things, like, hey, either space and time is important or it's not important. And seeing how everywhere you go, everyone already knows that the Realm of Millenia is the center of the universe. Guess what? The Realm of Millenia is the center of the universe, and anytime you leave the center of the universe for like the hell dimension, for the gods dimensions, for the upper, the lower, or the antimatter realm, or you want to go to this that planet, or you just thought about visiting the tourist attraction of the Milky Way galaxy and wanted to land on Earth and prove that aliens do exist. It's not Area 51, it was Area 58 or 57, right? They chopped off the 7 a little bit, so, but it's actually Area 57, right? It's just things that, like, that would be an example for space. But time is also like a very, very big thing in the realm of millennia, so I'm very extremely particular about it, to the point where, in order to fully make sure I could always be validating and vindicating the time aspects in the realm of millennia, I used the age gap conversation and stuff as literal in conversation canon moments to be like, age is nothing but a number. Right? I used a lot of common current common day phrases. It still doesn't sound right, but I used a lot of modern day phrases. There it is. I used a lot of modern day phrases in order to get certain concepts through in the layman way. So the time is such a big deal here to the realm of millennia, just as much as space is, and how I like to consider it an iconic niche, the space-time aspect, to be such a very pivotal piece that it's something different. So that being said, there is also the aspect to the time spot where it's like I have time loops, I have time powers, and those are just a bit more examples. But there are plenty of plot points and plot lines and stuff that only makes sense when you understand both the space and the timeline of things in the Realm of Millenia, because so much is going on, because the Realm of Millenia I'm making is such a diverse, open concept world where anything and everything is possible, including the impossible. So understanding it's only possible because it's the center of the universe where all of this has gotten started, and as time goes on, more and more of what is considered impossible is bound to be made in your face possible, right? So yes, the time loop and the timestamps situations are very, very much pivotal. And I know, like, I'm talking in a very big loop here. It's because, again, this is the social media, and I'm not trying to spoil anything about the book in particular that I don't want spoiled, because I want you to go read the actual story. But hey, that's just me, your Millennium Mailman. I sure do hope you enjoyed. If you did, like the video, comment down in the comment section down below any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, and opinions about what I had to say or how I said it. By all means, let me know. And share the video for more exposure. Subscribe if you feel like it, and dislike the video if you don't. Peace, love, happiness, and all the best of things to you. Till next time.